Hey guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing my labor and delivery storytime edition. A lot of you guys have been requesting this video, so I decided to finally film it. I've actually tried filming this video a couple times already. It just didn't work out with the baby and stuff. I do have the baby with me today. I'm going to try to record this with her being here. She's in her bouncer right now, so she's having fun, but I think she'll get bored of it. I'm going to be talking about my labor and delivery story. Where do I start? It's just like crazy. Okay, so I did originally want to like vlog my whole labor process. I did get small little clips of me going through my labor at the hospital, and then before going into the hospital. I just didn't record me actually pushing out my baby because the hospital I was at actually didn't let me. They were really strict on their policy, so I didn't get that part, but I do have the story time, which I will explain how it went. So it all started when I was 38 weeks. I gave birth at 38 weeks. I wasn't full term, not the 40 weeks, which I thought I would be full term because a lot of first time moms do go full term, especially for their first child. So I thought I was going to be one of those moms who would be pregnant forever. I wasn't though. I didn't expect me going into labor when I did. It just happened out of nowhere. I was just not expecting it. The day I gave birth, I got my maternity pictures. And it's weird because I wasn't going to get my pictures done until 3 days later. And if I would have waited, I would have gone into labor and I wouldn't have ever even gotten my maternity pictures. So thanks to my boyfriend for telling me to get them done that day. Because literally, I wouldn't have gotten them done. And I would have never had any maternity pictures if I would have waited. So the day I gave birth, I took my maternity pictures, but earlier that day. And I remember I was fine and everything. I was having little cramps, but it wasn't anything crazy. They were like period cramps, like menstrual cramps. So I thought it was like normal because I heard like you tend to get cramps like during your pregnancy. Although I didn't get cramps throughout my pregnancy. I only got cramps in the beginning when I found out I was pregnant, and then the day I gave birth. I look so tired. I've been running on like 5 hours of sleep because I just have pregnancy insomnia. Today's March 21st. I had my doctor's appointment today, and it turns out I am 2.5 centimeters dilated. It's crazy to me. I didn't think I was going to be dilated at all because last week I went to my appointment, I was dilated nothing, and all of a sudden I'm 2.5. So I just wanted to document this and see how long it takes, I guess, from March 21st to my due date. And then I have no idea when I'm going to give birth. I guess it could be any day now. I guess we'll see. I remember later on that day, after I took my maternity pictures, me and my sister-in-law went to go buy a little bassinet for the baby, and it was like 9 p.m. around there. And I remember I was feeling cramps a little stronger. I was like, damn, I feel these cramps a little stronger. I'm like, imagine I give birth tonight. And she's like, yeah, watch you give birth. And like, we literally jinxed it, guys, because I literally gave birth that night, like hours later. So then, you know, the night ends, we're going to sleep. And then I wake up randomly at like 12 p.m. I got woken up by one of the cramps I was getting. And I remember I told him, I was like, damn, like this cramp kind of hurts. And then after, I was like, but it's nothing, like I got it, you know. So I went back to sleep, woke up again at 2 in the morning. And then I told my boyfriend again, damn, like this cramp woke me up. I don't even think I could sleep through it anymore. But anyways, went back to sleep, woke up again at 3 a.m. And that's like when they were, like when the cramps were so close together. And I told my boyfriend, I was like, babe, my cramps are really close together. It was like to the point where I couldn't sleep through them anymore. So I was a little scared. I was like, wait, is this like for real? Is this like the real thing? Like, I didn't know because obviously I'm a first time mom. I don't know how bad it's supposed to hurt. I just know like it's pretty bad. Well, I'm in the room and I'm over here like trying to do all these positions to like make the pain go away so I could feel a little more like relief. Like I was over here stretching, like holding on to like the edge of the bed and stuff like that. They just kept getting worse and they were like so close together. I felt them like coming and going. So then there's this app called Labor Contractions, or I think it's called Labor Contractions. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. My friends have recommended me that app. Not sponsored. It kind of like times your contractions and it tells you when to go to the hospital. So I went on the app and I was like timing my contractions every time I would get one. Eventually I got this urge to want to go number 2. like so bad. Like all of a sudden I felt like I had to go, and it was like 4:30 in the morning, and I'm like, babe, I have to run to the restroom. And I'm sitting there on the toilet and nothing's coming out, and my boyfriend's in there with me, and I'm like, oh my god, I feel like I have to go number 2, but nothing's coming out. Like I just feel pressure down there. And I'm like, what if the baby comes out? Like, oh my god, I'm freaking out. And then he's all like, call the hospital. When I was timing the contractions on the app, it actually said go to the hospital. So then I called the hospital after, and I let them know what was going on. So the hospital told me, oh yeah, come get checked in. You know, we're gonna check you. We pack all our stuff in the car. I actually didn't take everything I was gonna bring with me because I thought it was a false alarm. Like, I didn't think I was actually gonna go into labor. I thought we were gonna get sent back home. I don't know why I thought that. We get to the hospital like around 6. I get settled into my room around 6:30. You know, they check me and everything, and then they told me I was 3 centimeters dilated, and I was like, oh my god. After my maternity photo shoot, I actually did have an appointment with my OB, and he did check me for dilation down there. He told me I was 2.5 centimeters, but he told me he wasn't going to send me to the hospital because I am a first-time mom, and that he's going to wait for me to open more. So literally that same day that he checked me, later on that night, I guess I had dilated more. So by the time I was at the hospital, they told me I was 3 centimeters dilated. I remember I asked one of the nurses, I was like, am I staying? Like, or am I going home? And they're like, girl, no, you're staying. And I was like, oh my god. I was like, I'm about to give birth. Like, this child's gonna come. And I remember I was stressing out because me and my boyfriend were staying in like this back studio type thing that we have behind our home. And it was so small, and we didn't have any of the baby stuff ready. Nothing was ready. It was just so bad because I just didn't expect the baby to come. So we had nothing ready, but we had baby stuff and everything. It just wasn't fixed up, you know, for the baby. That obviously got situated. So then they told me, yeah, you're staying. I was happy, and I was nervous, and I was excited, and I was like, all these emotions. So then they put the IV in me, and you know, I'm going through these contractions. Oh my god, I have like a mascara from earlier. Why are you
look sexy?
How am I gonna look sexy in labor?
Sexy. Wait,
look at me in my hair. Wait, hold on. Let me fix my hair. I'm 4 centimeters. Oh, what time is it? It's 7, and I started feeling these contractions. 7:45. And I started feeling contractions at like 1:30, pretty strong. I was feeling them throughout the day. And then I came, and I thought I was overreacting, but the contractions literally woke me up because of how strong they were. So now I'm here. I have this finger thing. I fucking don't like this. Like, I don't like it because I can't do anything. I'm really gonna push a child out of my vagina. Do you know how scary that is? Like, I kind of want to cry right now because I'm scared. But I'm gonna get epidural. I don't care what anybody says. You know, my mom said, do it naturally. I was like, no. Okay, I'll update once I'm more dilated, or if I already gave birth. I have a contraction. Oh, shit. Ooh, this one. Ooh. Ooh.
You got this. You're okay, baby. You gotta breathe. Breathe.
Dude, I feel like I need a shit.
You wanna go to the restroom?
Oh. I don't know why they come in here and they put my freaking seat down. Like, do not move my seat. Why? Like, it does not feel comfortable at all. Okay, goodbye. This nurse came in, and then she asked me, do you want the epidural? And I was like, no, I think I could wait a little longer. And by this time, it was around 10 a.m. She was like, oh, if I were you, I would get it now, because if you wait, it might be too late and then you won't be able to get it. By 11 a.m., they came in to put in the epidural for me. No, I did not see the needle. I did not want to look at the needle. I was terrified because I'm kind of scared of needles, honestly. So I'd rather not look at them, because if I look at them, I think I'm gonna scare myself even more. So I was like, I don't want to look at the needle, like I'm not gonna look at it. So then the doctor came in to put in my epidural. I remember I was holding a pillow and I was like this, and this nurse was like holding me, like trying to comfort me. She was so sweet. And then I got my epidural put into my back. It wasn't super painful, I would say. It was just uncomfortable and it felt really odd. I mean, I've never gotten a shot in my back, so it felt a little weird. I did jump up a little bit, but I don't know if that affected my epidural. At the epidural, so I feel good. It's 9 a.m. It's 9:25, so that's the update. And we got here like at, I don't even, like 6:30? Yeah. So I'll update. So far, everything's good though. Sorry guys, she's being a little fussy, so I have to bring her. She doesn't want to be in her bouncer anymore. So yeah, I got the epidural and everything. I remember asking, oh, like when is it supposed to do an effect on me? And then they told me, oh, basically like around 30 minutes you should start like not feeling your legs and stuff. And then I remember they put this little thing down there to like go pee in a bag. It was like really weird. I actually didn't know about that. I didn't know they did that, because when you have the epidural, you can't get up to use the restroom. So I remember they did that. I couldn't feel it when like they put it in, but it didn't hurt or anything. So then eventually like I started feeling numb from my legs, but it was weird because I only felt numb from my right leg. My whole right leg was numb. My whole left leg was like not numb at all. So it was really weird. I remember asking the nurse, because I was concerned. I was like, hey, I was like, is it normal that I don't feel my right leg and I feel everything on my left? Like, is that okay? And then she was like, I don't think so. She's like, you should be fully numb. And I was like, oh my God, wait. So if I go through labor and when I push this baby out, I'm like, am I gonna feel everything? And then she's like, oh my God, you're right. And I was like, girl, don't scare me. So then with the epidural, they have this little thing where you could press the button, and every time you press the button, it numbs you more, apparently, something like that. So I kept pressing the button, but the more I would press it, it would numb my right leg even more, and my left leg was just totally not numb. So I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, when I push this child out, I'm gonna feel everything, because I would feel all the contractions on my left side, but I wouldn't feel contractions on my right side. So it was really scary. I remember the nurse saw me in pain and she'd ask me like, are you okay? And I'd be like, no, like I feel all my contractions on my left side. And she's like, oh my God, like that's so weird. Like I don't think that's ever happened before. And I was over here freaking out. Then later on, what time was it? I think it was like after they had put in the epidural, like around 12ish, they had checked me and I was dilated to a 4, I want to say. And I was just trying to breathe through the contractions. And I remember the doctors had said that my water hadn't broke. So they had scheduled the doctor to come. He came at around 6 to break my water. And he came in and I remember he had like this big stick type thing. And he like went down there on me and like he like poked me with the little stick. And no, it didn't hurt actually. I didn't feel much. So he broke my water. And then after that, he was going to check for dilation. He checked me for dilation and then he told me, oh, well, you're at a 10. And I was like, what? I honestly didn't think I was going to be a 10 already, at least not that quick. I thought I was going to be a 6 or something, you know. I'm like, so I'm at a 10 and now what? And then they're like, you're going to have this baby. That's when it hit me all, like reality just hit me. Like I was like, oh my fucking God. I was like, I'm really about to push a human being out right now. Like I'm so scared. But I try to be calm. So then the doctor said, okay, you're going to do practice pushes with the nurses and I'm going to leave. And when the baby's head is sticking out, you guys call me back so we could just take the baby out. And I was like, what do you mean you're going to leave? And then he's like, yeah, since you're a first-time mom, you're probably going to take a little long to push and get the baby out. So I'll leave and I'll be back. Guys, I started doing my practice pushes with the nurses. The first practice push I did, I never knew how to push. I've never pushed in my life. So I just did whatever my gut told me to do. So I push, right? And when I pushed for my first practice push, I swear, I kid you not, the baby's head is already sticking out. Like the nurse was like, okay, push. So I push, and then she's like, wait, I think I see hair. I see hair. And I'm like, no way. Like I'm over here like, oh my God, like that's so cool, but like weird, you know? And then after, I was like, no way already. And then she's like, yeah. And she's like, wait, push again. And I push again. And she's like, stop, stop, stop. She's like, don't push. She's like, because if you push, the baby's going to come out. And I was like, oh my God. I was like freaking out. And I could feel everything, guys. Like I could feel the baby coming out during my labor because the epidural kind of failed me. It didn't fail me completely. It just failed me on my left side. My right side was completely numb. Like I'm talking about, like I could not lift my right leg at all. Like they had to lift up my right leg for me. And my left leg, I was completely fine. I could move it. I could lift it. Just my right leg, I could not lift at all. The nurses had to lift it for me when I started pushing. So every time I would feel a contraction, because like I said, I could feel old contractions on my left side. Every time I felt a contraction, I would use that to push. It was kind of helpful that I was able to feel, but at the same time, not really, because I didn't want to feel. But since I was able to feel, she's a little fussy right now. She has hiccups. So yeah, they basically told me stop pushing. The baby's gonna come out if you keep pushing. On my second push, I wasn't able to push anymore. The head was just sticking out at that point. So then they call the doctor. They're calling him. They're texting him. They can't get a hold of him. He doesn't answer. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm over here going through all this pain. I'm like going through all these contractions that I could use to push. And like this doctor is not even here. So I was like so mad, y'all. Like, it's okay. Here. I was so mad. I was like, somebody call the doctor. Like, where did he go? Like, why would he even leave? I was so mad because he had like no faith in me, because he had said, oh, since you're a first time mom, it's going to take you a while to push and get the baby out. I was like, it clearly didn't. So then eventually he came back, guys, after 15 minutes. Oh my God. I was so irritated. I was so annoyed. I was so fed up because he took so long and the baby's head was just sticking out for 15 minutes. So then since he took so long, I started getting super nauseous and I was like, oh my God. I was like, I think I'm about to throw up. So I tell the nurses, someone please get me a plastic bag. Like, I'm about to throw up. I feel so nauseous. Like, I need to throw up. Like, if somebody doesn't get me a plastic bag right now, I'm going to throw up. They get me a plastic bag. I start throwing up in the bag and I'm like, oh my God. And I remember I told my boyfriend, I'm like, I don't even know why I'm throwing up. I just feel super nauseous. Like, I don't know why. I don't know if it's the epidural. I don't know why, but I did throw up. So I threw up. And then when I was throwing up still, the doctor ran and he was coming in the room. He was like running and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I thought you would never come. And I was being sarcastic, obviously, because he took forever. So I finished throwing up and then he comes in and then he's like, okay, you ready to push? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I've been ready, like, you know. And he's like, you feel the contractions? And I was like, yes, like I know when to push. Because sometimes when you get the epidural and you're so numb, you don't even feel the contractions, so you don't know when to push. They have to actually tell you when to push. But for me, since it didn't do the full effect, I knew when to push. So it was easier for me, I would say, rather than being numb and not feeling anything. I think it would have been a little harder for me, obviously, to like know, especially being a first-time mom. So then he's like, when you feel a contraction, start pushing. So I felt a contraction, started pushing. I pushed and then they're like, oh yeah, like the head's coming out, like she's right there, you know. Everybody's just, they're just being supportive. Everybody's just cheering me on, like, you got this, you know, this and that. So when I start pushing, I think after that I pushed like 3 times and the baby was literally out. Like, it was so quick. And like, I remember when the baby came out, they grabbed her, they put her on me, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, this child was literally in me. And like, it was just so crazy to me, and it was such a beautiful feeling, because I remember when they put her on me, I was like, I just wanted to look at her. I wanted to see what she looked like, because, you know, having a baby inside of you, it's like you have this little cute human and you don't know what they look like, and you just can't wait to meet them. So I was so excited. My placenta actually came out along with her when she came out. And then, what's wrong, huh? What's wrong? Yeah, so they cut the cord and everything. And they took the baby to the side, you know. They were just putting a diaper on for her. They gave her formula in a bottle because she did have low blood sugar when she was born. But everything's good now. She's healthy now. That was just when she was born, so they did have to give her formula. After that, they put her on me, and then so I could breastfeed, but unfortunately, nothing really came out of my breast. And then after that, they just discharged us to the postpartum room, and postpartum was not the best. I remember I did not enjoy postpartum. I mean, the delivery room was really big, and then postpartum was like so tiny. Like, they just kick you out to like a tiny ass little room. And I remember it just down there felt so sensitive, and they would just give you like a massage on your belly, or at least for me, they gave me a massage, and I was like traumatized. I heard a lot of people say that it hurts really bad when they massage your belly, because they're trying to like make your uterus go back to its normal size, something like that. And people said it hurt for them really bad. For me, it didn't hurt that much. I mean, I told the nurses, I was like, can you be gentle, please? And then having to wear the diapers at the hospital. I hated the diapers at the hospital. And I just felt like I literally got ran over by a bus or a car postpartum. Like, I swear. And then I would get cramps like so bad. Oh my god, I hated the cramps. I remember going pee in number 2 for the first time. It's scary. I think peeing is scary because it could sting down there. TMI, I know. And then going number 2 is always scary as well, because you just push out a baby and you just feel like everything's gonna rip. Taking stool softeners, guys. Stool softeners really come through. I remember the first day I did have her. Oh my gosh, I was so scared because it was just me and my boyfriend in the postpartum room. My boyfriend was sick with a cold and a cough, so he was not able to hold the baby at all. Like, he couldn't hold her. He couldn't help me out with her because the nurses wouldn't let him. And of course, he's sick. She could get sick being so little and her immune system being so weak, you know, just being born. So he had to like go home. Not the first day she was born, but the day after that, they sent him home. And it just sucked because I had to take care of her by myself, and I've never been around a baby. I've never taken care of a baby, especially a newborn. I knew nothing about newborns. I was just trying to educate myself with TikTok, basically, just looking up videos, educating myself, reading articles and stuff like that. So it was really hard for me. I was freaking out with any little thing that would happen, and I was awake throughout the whole night basically until this nurse came in, and then she asked me if she wanted me to watch the baby for like an hour. And I was like so tired, I really needed the rest, that I told her, yeah, go ahead, take her for like about an hour. And then, you know, she took care of her, then she brought her back, and I was up with the baby. But it was really hard that first night, and then every other night was pretty hard, but then eventually you adjust. And I love her, and she has her fussy moments still, but it's okay. She's still a little baby. Yeah, guys, that was my labor and delivery story. It was actually pretty positive. I don't think it was like super negative. The only bad thing about it was like the epidural kind of failing me. That's the only thing that sucks. But I mean, it wasn't too bad feeling the pain. I honestly would say 1 out of 10. I think it was like at a 6. Like, I think I could do this again. Like, I could have another baby, but not right now. And no, ma'am. I'm not gonna have another one right now just because it's a lot of work just with one. I feel like, so maybe sometime in the future, but honestly, I think it's harder taking care of the baby than actually pushing the baby out, going through labor and all that. But 1 out of 10, I would give it a 6 if I had to rate how bad the pain was for labor. But yeah, I actually had a really good experience. I honestly would pray every night that I would have a good labor and delivery. And honestly, I manifested this. I really manifested this because it came out being super positive. And even though the epidural didn't work on me, I still had a really positive experience. And I'm very thankful for that because I feel like God really listened to me. He really heard me because I would pray to him every single night. Just pray, guys. Pray and God will listen to you. That is it for my little labor and delivery story time. I know you guys were waiting for this video for so long, and I had lagged because being with the newborn, guys, it's just so hectic. Like, having a baby is so hectic. Like, you can't really do much. Like, I did my makeup today, and it took me so long to do it, but she's been better now. Before, she would just wake up and cry all the time. Sometimes she just wants to be held like this because she's clingy, but she's a good baby. Thank you guys for listening to my labor and delivery story. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Hopefully this helps anybody who's going to go through labor and delivery soon. Be positive. Don't think about it too much. Don't be negative, and you'll be fine, okay? Don't stress out. Try to remain calm, and just know that at the end, like, I know it sucks and it's painful, but at the end, you're going to meet your little baby and everything's going to be so good. So just remember that. Keep that in mind always. And thank you guys for watching. I'm going to go now because I have to take care of this little one. And hopefully I'll be back with another video. I really want to do like a day in my life with a newborn, or like a morning routine, newborn edition. I don't know. I'll see what I do. But hope you guys enjoyed watching. See you guys in my next video. Bye.